Good evening, guys. Can you hear me? Hello. Good evening, guys. Can you hear me? Okay. So let's start the session. So yesterday we discussed about hubs. Now today we will discuss about switches. Okay. So the difference between hub and switch. So now we are going to discuss on how the switch functions. Such how it will work. We'll see now. Okay. So like okay. So let's see, guys. Here coming to switch functions. Hub and switch both it will be looking like similar, but the function wise, so we'll have the differences. So we'll have the differences. Okay. So coming to switch, we'll have two types of switches. We'll have two types of switches. So one is unmanageable switch, another one is a manageable switch. Okay. Unmanageable switches and manageable switches. So generally, so small industries like our institutions, these people they will use unmanageable switches. We are unable to configure the switch. Okay, so unmanageable switches cost around like 16 ports which you can purchase. Around it will take like 4,000 to 5,000 rupees like this they will charge. So we'll have the different vendors that are providing for us this unmanageable switches like D-Link, Cisco, different types of vendors that are providing for us. So coming to manageable switches. So it's a real-time switches, guys. So in real-time organizations, so MNC people, they're going to use this manageable switches. This manageable switches having this manageable switches. So it having we can able to configure this manageable switches. So we can able to configure the port security. So we can able to configure the servers into the manageable switches. So the minimum the cost of the manageable switches. So minimum like 20 to 25,000 will have. It's a bit expensive. So because of that reason, small industries and like our institution, they're not going to use these types of switches. So usually, so these types of switches we are going to use into the data centers and then MNCs. Okay. So anyway, both the switch it will work like a same, but we have the few differences. In unmanageable switches, we are unable to configure the IP addresses and these all. But in manageable switches, we can able to configure, we can able to take this device into the remote access. Remotely, you can configure the switches according to your requirement. You can manage the bandwidth and these all stuff. So I hope you got the difference between manageable and unmanageable switches. Yes. So coming to switches, okay. So please make a note. Switch functions. Switch is an intelligent device. Switch is an intelligent device. It will maintain the MAC address table. It will maintain the MAC address table. Switch it will maintain the MAC address table. So it will use to loading and unicast for communication. Uses loading and unicast for communication. Clear, guys? uses floating, FLOADING, floating, and then unicast for communication. Each port of the switch having the fixed bandwidth, each port of the switch having the fixed bandwidth, and then it having the full duplex communication. Switch having the full duplex communication. Again, I am repeating, so please make a note. So switch is an intelligent device. Switch is an intelligent device. Okay, and then so it will maintain the MAC address table. It will maintain the MAC address table. Uses floating and unicast for communication. Each port of the switch having the fixed bandwidth, and then it having the full duplex communication. So it having full duplex communication. So let's see here. This is one switch. I was connected few machines into the switch. So I'm trying to sending the data from mission 1 to mission 4. The same scenario yesterday what we discussed. Same scenario. I'm sending the data from mission 1 to mission 4. So when I'm trying to sending the data from mission 1 to mission 4, the mission 1 is going to send the data to the switch. The switch, what it will do in the sense, it is going to capture the mission 1's MAC address. It will maintain one MAC address table internally inside the switch. So while the system 1 it is sending the data to the switch what it will do in the sense, it is going to capture the mission 1's MAC address. So switch, it is going to capture the mission 1's MAC address, and the switch what it will do in the sense, it will send the data to the mission 4 along with the mission 3 and mission 2 excluding mission 1. That is called floating. FLOADING, floating. Okay. So floating. Okay. So what is the difference between broadcasting and floating? Broadcasting means one to many including source. Floating, one to many excluding source. So it is not going to send the data to the source machine. So it is going to send the data to the third machine and second machine along with the fourth machine. So who is the right person who is going to accept the data, and remaining people that are going to drop the data. So I hope you're clear, guys. That is called floating. So now the switch, what it will do? So is sending the request to the mission 4, and the mission 1 MAC address it is going to capture. And then system 4, he need to give the response to the mission 1. So already switch it having the system 1 MAC address. Now the system 4, it is giving the response to the mission 1. So the system 4, what it will do in the sense, it is going to send the data. It is providing the request to the response to the switch, and the switch, what it will do in the sense, it is not going to send the like a response to mission 3 and mission 2. Directly it is going to send the response to the mission 1, because switch he doesn't know. It doesn't know the system 1 MAC address. While the system 4 it is sending the response to the mission 1, at the time the switch, what it will do in the sense, it is going to capture the system 4's MAC address also. So first time floating, next time onwards unicast. So one-on-one communication will have. So if the switch, if it is captured the MAC address, so if it is maintaining the MAC address, so it is not going to send the data to the remaining machines. So directly, so he's going to send the like the system, the switch, it is going to send the data to the directly to fourth machine, not to third machine and second machine, because there's both the MAC address will have inside the MAC address table. So with the help of this MAC address table, so one-on-one communication it will happen. So because of that reason, switch is an intelligent device. First time as floating, next time onwards unicast. So like this, it is going to capture all the MAC addresses. So it will maintain the MAC address into the MAC address table. So with the help of this MAC address table, so directly we are going to send the data from mission 1 to mission 4 and mission 4 to mission 1 like this. So I hope you're clear, guys. Floating and unicast. And each port of the switch having the fixed bandwidth. So each port of the switch having the fixed bandwidth. So 40 Mbps connection I was taken, and then if I'm connecting to this 40 Mbps connection to the switch what it will do in the sense, so it will provide the 40 Mbps for mission 1, 40 Mbps for mission 2, 40 Mbps for mission 3, and as well as mission 4. So for mission 4 also 40 Mbps it will provide. Because of that reason, switch, so if we are using the switch into the real-time environment, so we are not going to lose any bandwidth, so with the help of switches. So it having the full duplex communication. So request and response, it will happen vice versa. So that is called full duplex, full duplex communication. Clear, guys? So I hope you're clear. Switch functions. Yes, no. Guys, can you hear me? So this is all about switch function. How, why it is not an intelligent device? How it doesn't have any MAC address table, it is not going to maintain any MAC address table. So because of that reason, hub it's not an intelligent device. Switch is an intelligent device. See, switch is an intelligent device. It will, so it having the MAC address table, it will maintain the MAC address table. And then third point, uses floating and unicast for communication. Uses floating and unicast for communication. And each port of the switch having the fixed bandwidth, and then it having the full duplex communication. So got it, Chandana? Okay. So next, routers. Not clouding, guys. Floating. Flooding. It's floating, okay, not clouding, okay. Got it. Floating means one to many excluding source. So automatically the switch, for example, if you're connecting the some machines into the switch, automatically the switch it is going to capture the MAC address of the machines, okay, while you are trying to sending the data at the time. Okay, guys. Right. So coming to routers. So router. So what is the use of router? So I'm not talking about our home routers, guys. Routers, home routers also they will do same thing. So what is a routing? So we are defining the route. So we are sending the data from one mission to another mission. The data how it should be traveled in a sense. We need to define the one route here. So with the help of router, we are going to define that. Okay. Actual the router also it's an intelligent device. Router functions, guys. So this is a router symbol. It's a router symbol. So real-time routers, how it will be looking in a sense. 1 minute, I'll show you. Cisco router images. See, guys, this is a router. See. The router will be looking like this. Okay. So this is back and this is front. Okay. So router functions. So routers also intelligent device. The router what it will do in the sense, it will enable the communication between two different logical networks. Okay. It will enable the communication between two different logical networks. For example, this is one network and this is one network. So it's a physical network, guys. Okay, it's a physical network. So how the physical networks it will work in a sense with the help of IP addresses. IP addresses are logical networks. Okay, IP addresses are logical networks. Clear? So I hope you got it. Guys, give me 1 minute. So I hope you're clear, guys. Router is an intelligent device. Okay, it is also maintain the routing table. So what is the use of router in the sense it will enable the communication between two different logical networks. So this is one logical network. So this is 192.168.1.0 and there's one more logical network 10.0.0.8. Okay. Router and modem both are different. Milan. Router and modem both are different. Okay. So modem, what it will do in the sense, it will convert the analog signals to digital signal. Router, what it will do in the sense, it will enable the communication between two different logical networks. Okay. So IP address and MAC address. MAC address is a physical address of the mission. Okay. IP address, for example, what is the difference between your address and your name? Mahipal. Your physical address, where you are staying. So we'll have the one physical address. Yes. Your name is a IP address. Got it. So IP address are logical addressing. Physical addresses are MAC address. So your hardware address is MAC address. So your name is physical address. Clear? So I hope you got it, guys. So now router is an intelligent device. It will maintain the routing table. It will enable the communication between two different logical networks. Okay. So now coming to router, it will decide the best path to reach the destination. Path determination also. Path determination also. Router it will do. See, I'll show you how the path determination will happen. So this network belongs to Hyderabad, and then we'll have the one more branch in Chennai. This network it belongs to Chennai. Okay. So this is Hyderabad network, and it's a Chennai network, guys. Okay. So now the Hyderabad network people, they're sending the data to the Chennai network people. Okay. So this is one branch. One branch we'll have in Hyderabad, another branch in Chennai. So I'm trying to sending the data from Hyderabad network to Chennai network. Okay. So now I'm sending the data from mission 1 from Hyderabad to mission 1 to Chennai. Okay. So now this is a router. So with the help of this router, we are going to connect the switches. Using the switches, we are going to connect the missions here. Okay. So now I'm trying to sending the data. The data is going to travel to the switch, and then the switch is going to carry forward to the router. The router, what it will do in the sense, it will decide the best path to reach the destination. It will decide the best path to reach the destination. So how it is going to decide the best path to reach the destination? So using routing protocols. Using routing protocols, and this router automatically is going to capture the neighbor's router's IP addresses. So neighbor router addresses it is going to capture. Okay. So using this routing protocols. So example RIP, EAGRP, OSPF. Okay. So this is a routing protocol. So using this routing protocol, so it will decide the best path to reach the destination. For example, if I'm using RIP, so routing information protocol. Okay. So if I'm using RIP, the RIP what it will do in the sense, it will decide the hop count. So here, which is the best way to reach the destination, guys? According to this diagram. So this is the best way, no? So we'll have the two hops here, and then we'll have only one hop here. That means one router here. Okay. So RIP, what it will do in the sense, it will decide the best path. So according to hop counts. Okay. So we'll have the only one hop. Because of that reason, this is the best path to the destination. So coming to EAGRP and OSPF. So EAGRP, it will decide the best path according to bandwidth. If you're having the more bandwidth this side, so EAGRP, what it will do in the sense, it is going to decide the best path to reach this destination. So OSPF, successor of RIP. Successor of RIP, OSPF. So I hope you're clear, guys. Guys, give me 1 minute. Guys, can you hear me? Hello, can you hear me, guys? Okay. So now I hope you're clear. So according to this routing protocols, so the router, what it will do in a sense, it will decide the best path to reach the destination. Will decide the best path to reach the destination. Clear? And then after reaching the destination, the data it should send to the destination machine. So how we are going to send the data? With the help of routed protocols. With the help of routed protocols. Example, IP, IPX and AppleTag. IP, IPX and AppleTag. Clear? So I hope you got it, guys. So router functions. So router is an intelligent device. It will enable the communication between two different logical networks and it will decide the best path to reach the destination. You can say path determination. Path determination. So clear? So I hope you got it, guys. The differences between router, switches and hubs. Okay? So can we start IP addresses? So without IP address, we are unable to deploy the network. Yes, we are unable to deploy the network. So IP addresses are logical addressing. IP addresses are logical addressing. Just submitting. So IP addresses are logical addressing. So without IP address, you are unable to communicate from one mission to another mission in a network. So if you're deploying the physical network, it's not enough, guys. So we need to provide the IP addresses, then only we can able to send the data from one mission to another mission. Okay? So IP addresses are logical addressing. Simple, guys. For example, we are using Google.com, yes? Actually, the Google.com is a name. So behalf of this name, we'll have one IP address. So because the human they're unable to remember the numbers, because of that reason they got provided the name for us. Usually we need to calling the Google.com with the help of this Google.com name to IP address. We'll have the DNS server. With the help of this DNS server, it will resolve the IP address to the host name and host name to the IP address. So IP addresses are your name. For example, I have 20 missions into one network, guys. I need to send the data from mission 1 to mission 4. So we should know the right address to whom we need to send the data. Simple. I need to communicate with you. So without your name, can I able to communicate with you? It is possible? It's not possible. No? So I should know your number. Otherwise, so I need to know your contact number. Then only I can able to communicate with you. That's it now, guys. So here, how you have one contact number, like the same way in our network, each and every mission, it having the one IP address. So without this IP address, we are unable to communicate from one mission to another mission in a network. So you can say it's a one logical addressing. It's a unique address in our network. Okay, it's a unique address. For example, so I was given 192.168.1.1, one IP address for one mission. So you are unable to repeat this IP address into the same network into the another mission. We are unable to provide like this. Okay, it's a one unique address. So I hope you're clear. So coming to IP addresses, we'll have two types of versions here. One is IPv4, another one is IPv6. We are going to discuss about IPv4 only. So we doesn't have any IPv6 concept here, but I will give the differences between IPv4 and IPv6. Okay. So now coming to IPv4. So IPv4 32-bit addressing. 32-bit addressing. 2 to the power of 32. These many combinations will have an IPv4. IP version 4, it having these many combinations. So nowadays, people they're using a number of the smart devices. Yes, we'll have the smart mobiles and smart ACs and smart televisions and these all. Smart CC cams, that means, okay, smart CC cams, So different types of smart devices people are using. Yes. So how the smart devices it will work? Without IP addressing, we are unable to communicate from one device to another device in a network. So we'll have the smart CC cams, guys. I need to monitor the CC cam visuals from my home. So using my mobile, how I can able to communicate with the smart CC cam? The smart CC cam having the one IP address and my mobile also having the one IP address. Using this IP addresses, we are trying to communicating from one device to another device. Like this, say, like this, we'll have the number of the smart devices. Because of that reason, this IPv4 range it was completed. We doesn't have the IPv4 range. The IPv4 range it completed. That means we don't have the IPv4 IP addressing in nowadays because so we are utilizing more smart devices. So the IPv4 range it got completed. Okay, then if it is completed, how we need to communicate from one device to another device? So we'll get some problem, and then we'll get some problem because of that reason. Research and development people they introduced to us IPv6. So IPv6 means IP version 6. It's a 128-bit addressing. So 2 to the power of 32 whole power 4. So 4 times more IP addresses will have compared to IPv4 in IPv6. 4 times more IP addresses will have. Now my question is, why these people after 32-bit directly they introduced to us 128? Why not 64? Why not 254? Yes, guys. So why not 254? Why not 64? See, if they introduce to us 64-bit, after some time again we are going to face the same problem. So exactly why they introduced to us 128-bit? Our devices it will support till 128-bit. So more than 128-bit devices, more than 128-bit, our devices it is not going to support. So because of that reason, till the end, research and development people they introduced to us IPv6 as a 128-bit. So compared to IPv4, we'll have 4 times more IP addresses in IPv6. I hope you got the difference between IPv4 and IPv6. Yes, but in still India, peoples they're using IPv4 only. Our Indian government they didn't provide the full-fledged permission to utilize the IPv6. So got it, guys. As of now, I said like before I said IPv4 IP addresses it got completed. We doesn't have the range. How we are utilizing the IPv4 still in India, and not only in India, some countries they are using IPv4. Okay, so we are using IPv6 also, but to communicate with some different countries. But in India, so maximum people they are going to depend on IPv4 only. So we are using IPv6 also, guys, to communicate with some different countries. Okay. So you're using IPv6 also, but maximum people, for example, if you need to deploy your own network in your organization, people they are going to use IPv4. So for internal purpose, if you try to deploying, so we are going to use IPv4 only, na? 90% people they are going to use for intranet IPv4 only. How they are trying to utilizing IPv4 because of NAT concept. Because of NAT concept. So NAT will form network address translator. Network address translator. With the help of one public IP address, you can connect 60,000 private IP addresses. Got it? With the help of one public IP address, you can connect 60,000 private IP addresses. Clear? So because of NAT concept, still we are using IPv4 in India. I hope you got it, guys. Some people's like we also having the IPv6 only, but so you need to communicate with some different countries. So they are using IPv6. So how we need to communicate? If you having the IPv6, then only we can able to communicate. Yes. I hope you got it, guys. So coming to IPv4, it having the 32-bit addressing. Clear? So IPv4 having 32-bit addressing. So IPv4 having 32-bit addressing. So 32-bit means zeros and ones only, no? 32 zeros and ones. That's it now, guys. So total 32 bit. So how many combinations we'll have? 2 to the power of 32. It's very huge combination. Okay. So it's a huge combination. Because of that reason, what they did in a sense, they got divided into 4 octets. Okay. This 32 bit, this IPv4 32 bit, it got divided into 4 octets. Each octet having 8 bits. This is one octet. OCTET, okay, octet. So this is one octet, and this is another octet, and this is a 4 octets we'll have. No, it is not possible. So we are unable to, using NAT we can, but directly you are unable to communicate with IPv4 to IPv6 because totally, the structure is different, guys. IPv4, IPv6 is 128 bit. So we doesn't have any class concept into the IPv6. Got it? So directly we are unable to communicate with IPv4 to IPv6. Okay. So here coming to IPv4, so we'll have 4 octets. So each octet having 8 bits. Each octet having 8 bits. So total 32 bits. Okay. So each octet it got divided into decimal dot notation. See here. We'll have dot. It's a decimal dot notation. So now each octet, how many combinations will have? 2 to the power of 8. 2 to the power of 8, how much? 256 combinations will have into the each octet. That means 0 to 255, 0 to 255. I'm trying writing from the 0. So if I'm trying to writing from the 0, we should do -1. That's it, huh? So 2 to the power of 8, 256, -1 we should do because I'm writing from the 0. So 0 to 256 combinations will have into the each octet. So here also in this octet also will have the 0 to 255. And this octet also will have the 0 to 255. And this octet also will have the 0 to 255. Okay. So because of that reason, our IP address, it will be looking like this, 192.168.1.1 like this. So I hope you got it, guys. The total 32 bit, it got divided into the 4 octets. So each octet having 8 bits. This octet, it got divided with the help of decimal dot notation. So because of that reason, our IP addresses, it will be looking like this. So 192.168.1.1 like this, IPv4. Okay. The total combination of the each octet, 0 to 255 combinations will have. So 0 to 255, here 0 to 255, 0 to 255, 0 to 255. So 0 to 255 combinations also, it's a huge combination. Okay. So because of that reason, research and development people were the data in the sense, they got divided into the multiple classes. That is called IP address classification. Guys, please concentrate. So 0 to 255 combination, they got divided into the multiple classes. So here we'll have the IP address classification. Class A, Class B, Class C, Class D, and Class E. Class A and B and C. This is for LAN and WAN purpose. Class A and Class B and Class C, we are going to use LAN and WAN purpose. As an administrator, we are going to use only Class A, Class B, and Class C. Class D, it's reserved for multicasting. Class D, it's reserved for multicasting. Class E, this is reserved for research and development. R&D purpose. So Class E is R&D purpose. We are not going to use Class D and Class E. So we are a system administrator. We are going to use Class A, Class B, and Class C. So I hope you're clear, guys. So Class A 0 to 127. Class B 128 to 191. Class C 192 to 223. Class D 224 to 239. And Class E 240 to 255. So clear? So how many combinations we'll have in each octet? 0 to 255 combinations we'll have. So this 0 to 255 also, it's a huge combination. For government, it's not like this. It's not like this C and D for government, okay? D and E. D it is reserved for multicasting. E it is reserved for research and development. Okay. So let's see here. So 0 to 255 combinations we'll have. So this 0 to 255 combination, it's a huge combination. Because of that, is a research and development people. They got divided into 5 classes. There's a class A 0 to 127. There's a class B 128 to 191. Class C 190 to 223. So class D 224 to 250. I think. So don't buy out the classes, guys. I'll provide you one formula. According to that, you will get 239, I think. Okay. So 239 and 240 to 255. 240 to 255. So 0 to 255 combinations will have. So 0 to 255 combination, it got divided into the 5 classes. First 3 classes we are going to use for LAN and WAN purpose. So administrator, they are going to manage the LAN and WAN. Okay. So here we are going to discuss about class A and class B and class C. So now how they got divided the IP addresses, in which basis they got divided the IP address range. That means the class ranges. So class A, why 0 to 127? Why not 0 to 255? I hope you got it, guys. So generally, class A, they got divided into 0 to 250, 0 to 127. Class B, 128 to 191. So why class A 0 to 191 we doesn't have? Why class A will have 0 to 127? Which base they got divided into the classes? With the help of priority bits. With the help of priority bit. Multicasting means 1 to at a time we are going to send the data for bulk peoples, like maybe 1 to 1 group, you can say. That is called multicasting. Okay. So class A 0 to 127. Why class A 0 to 127? Why not 0 to 191? And which basis they got divided the classes? With the help of priority bit, they got divided the classes. Okay. Already they divided, so we need to use only those combinations. Okay. If you're using different combinations, you are not going to communicate from one mission to another mission. Mahipa. Got it? So that is, so only we need to use in this classes only. So if you try to using your own IP addresses, so you are not going to communicate. Okay. So let's see here, 0 to 127. How we'll get this combination? With the help of priority bits. With the help of priority bits. 0 is a priority bit for class A. So 10 is a priority bit for class B, and 110 is a priority bit for class C, and 1110 is a priority bit for class D, and 1111 is a priority bit for class C. How we got this priority bits? How we'll get this priority bits, guys? With the help of binary calculation. The most significant of the first bit is a priority bit. Okay. So how many people you know binary calculations, guys? Who's belongs to triple E? Triple E. How many people you know binary calculations? So do you know binary calculation? So how we need to do the binary calculation? So for example, 2 to the power of 2 is equal to 4. That's it, no? 2 to the power of 2 is equal to 4. How many combinations will have? 2 combinations. That means 2 zeros. 0, 0 is equal to 0. 0, 1 is equal to 1. 1, 0 is equal to 2. 1, 1 is equal to 3. How many combinations we have? 4 combinations we'll have. You are satisfied, no? 2 to the power of 2 is equal to 4. So this is the way we need to do the binary calculation. It's a very simple binary calculation. I hope you got it, guys. So example, 2 to the power of 2. How much? 4. How we need to write this numerical calculation into the binary calculation? 0, 0. Because we'll have the two combinations. So 0, 0 is equal to 0. 0, 1 is equal to 1. 1 0 2 1 1 3. That means 4 combinations will have 0 to 3 4 combinations. Like the same way, so each octet having how many bits, guys? Each octet having how many bits? Yes, guys. Each octet having how many bits? 8 bits. That's it, no? So each octet having 8 bits. So how we need to get the combinations of this bit? The octet. 2 to the power of 8. That's it, no? 2 to the power of 8. 256 combinations. Can we write this numerical value into the binary? Yes, we can able to write. See here. So 2 to the power of 8 is equal to 256. I am trying to writing this value into the binary format. So 8 zeros is equal to 0, 7 zeros 1 is equal to 1, and then 6 zeros 1 0 is equal to 2. So like this, if I am trying to calculating one place first octet, that means first bit it will become 0, remaining bits it will becomes ones, that is 127. Got it, guys? How we got divide the IP address classification? With the help of priority bit. The first bit of the first octet 0 is a priority bit. So 0 to 127 is a range for class A. I hope you got it, guys. Yes, no? 0 to 127 is a range of a class A. Got it? So because of this priority bit, so the first bit of the first octet is a 0, and after 0 everything it will become 1s. So when it will become 1? In 127 combination. So on 127th combination. So 0 to 127 is a class A range, and the priority bit of the class A is a 0. Then again I am continuing the calculation. 1 7 zeros 128, 1 6 zeros 1 129. So like this, if I am calculating in one place, after 1 0 everything will becomes ones, that is 191. So because of that reason, class B range is 128 to 191. The priority bit of the class B 10. So like the same way, if I am calculating 192 to 223 for class C. I hope you got it, guys. So internally the binary calculation. So with the help of this binary calculation, they got divide the multiple classes. So don't by heart the like class A 0 to 127, class B 128 to 191 like this. So we have the reason why they got divided in the sense because of this binary calculation. So with the help of this binary calculation, they define the class A, class B, class C, class D, class E range. So if you are writing competitive exams, at the times you need to do this binary calculation, since it will be difficult to us. So because of that reason, I will show you one more calculation. So each octet having how many bits, guys? 8 bits. That's it, no? Just remember this priority bits. So just remember this priority bits. Class A priority bit is a 0. Class B priority bit is a 10. That means 2 bits. Class C priority bit is 110, 3 bits. Class D priority bit is a 1110, 4 bits, and class E 1111. Just remember this priority bits. 1 bit, 2 bits, 3 bits, 4 bits. 0, 10, 110, 1110, 1111. Okay. Now, how many bits will have into the each octet? Yes, guys. How many bits will have into the each octet? 8 bits will have. Okay. I'm taking one octet. So in this octet we'll have 8 bits. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 bits total will have. Now each bit having one value. Okay. So each bit having one value. How will get this bit value in the sense? With the help of this formula. 2 to the power of 0 is a value for first bit. 2 to the power of 1 is a value for this bit. 2 to the power of 2 is a value for this third bit. 2 to the power of 3, fourth bit value. 2 to the power of 4, fifth bit. 2 to the power of 5, 2 to the power of 6, 2 to the power of 7. So like this, each and every bit value will get. I hope you clear, guys. So how many bits will have? 8 bits will have, each bit having one value. Okay. So this bit 2 to the power of 7. So 2 to the power of 7 means how much? 128. That's it now, guys. Guys, can you hear me? Please concentrate here. Okay. So 2 to the power of 7, how much? 128. So 128. We got a class A range. 0 to, can we write the 128 as a 0 to 127? I'm trying to writing from the 0. We should do minus 1. Yes. We got a class A range. We got a class A range. So I hope you're clear, guys. We got a class A range now. So class A 0 to 127. So we calculate first bit here. The first bit 2 to the power of 7 is a value. Okay. So 128. So 0 to 127. So clear? Next. Class B, how many bits will have? Priority bits. 2, 1, 0. That means first bit and second bit value we need to calculate. So 2 to the power of 7 and 2 to the power of 6. 2 to the power of 7 plus 2 to the power of 6. How much? 128 plus 64. Correct, I'm coming. Please concentrate here. Okay. So please don't. I'll tell you definitely what is 127.0.0.0. Okay. So why we are not using this and these all stuff I will tell you. Please concentrate here. So guys, please, I'm in one flow. Please don't disturb me here. Definitely I will teach this all stuff. Please concentrate here. So you need to know first of all what type of range we'll have. We should know. So how we are getting this class A range, class B range and class C range and these all. Without knowing this, what is the use of 127? Clear? Please concentrate. If you know this all stuff, please you can leave. There is no issues. If you know about IPv4, then you can leave. There is no issues. So I am concentrating on who doesn't know this IPv4. Please concentrate here. So 2 to the power of 7. 2 to the power of 7 is a value. 128 is the first bit value. So class B, how many bits will have? Priority bits, 2 bits, 1 and 0. First bit and second bit. So 2 to the power of 7 plus 2 to the power of 6. How much? 128 plus 64. 192. Can we write from 128 to 191? Because we need to do minus 1. We are trying to writing from the 0. We got a class B range 128 to 191. Guys, please don't by heart class A 0 to 127, class B 128 to 191 like this. So you can use this calculation, you will get the range. Okay? You will get the range. Then class B range you got 1 to 128 to 191. 128 to 191. Now class C range, how many bits will have? Priority bits, 3 bits. That means 1, 2, 3. 2 to the power of 7 plus 2 to the power of 6 plus 2 to the power of 5. How much? 128 plus 64 is equal to 192 plus 32. 2 to the power of 5, 32. How much? 224. Can we write like this 192 to 223? 192 to 223. Yes, class C range we got 192 to 223. Class D range. So we need to add 16, 240, 224 to 239, 224 to 239, and then 242 to 255. More than 255 IP address we doesn't have. I hope you're clear, guys. Just remember this calculation. You will get the IP address range. No need to by heart. Class A 0 to 127, class B 128 to 191, class C 192 to 223. Okay. Class D 224 to 239 and class C 242 to 255 like this. I hope you're clear, guys. Yes, no. Still, if you're having the doubt, please let me know. Yes, guys. Guys, can you hear me? So 0 to 127. So with the help of this numerical calculation, we'll get the IP address range. So remember this priority bits, that is enough. So priority bit of the class A 0, priority bit of the class B 10. So class C 110, class D 110, class C 1100, 1111, 1111. Each every bit having one value. Each and every bit having one value. So this bit having the value of 2 to the power of 7. So we got a class A range 0 to 127. 128 means 128 combination. If I am writing from the 0 to 127. So plus 64. So 128 to 191. So plus 32. 190 to 223. 223 to 239. 242 till the range. So more than 255 it doesn't have. The last range is 255. So more than 255 it doesn't have. Clear guys? Because 0 to 255 is a combination. 2 to the power of 8 is 0 to 255. Clear? I hope you got it. So don't by hand the IP addresses. IP address range, okay? So now, so coming to here, this IP addresses, it got divided into network and host positions. Okay? So network and host position. Class A, 1 network and 3 hosts. Class A, 1 network and 3 hosts. Class B, 2 networks and 2 hosts. Class C, 3 networks and 1 host. Remember this. Class A, 1 network and 3 hosts. So this is network octet and 3 host octets will have in class A. Class B, 2 networks and 2 hosts. Class C, 3 networks and 1 host. So clear guys? Now, this is a first floor and it's a second floor and it's a third floor. So first floor people, they are unable to communicate with the second floor peoples, and second floor people, they are unable to communicate with the third floor peoples, and third floor peoples also, they are unable to communicate with the first floor peoples. That means networks are different here. So we'll have 1 network and we'll have the 2 network beds and then we'll have the 3 networks here. Clear? How we need to avoid the communication between these networks? So we need a subnet mask. So we are going to use subnet mask to avoid the communication between these networks. So class A should not communicate with the class B. Class B, it should not communicate with the class C, because class A network is a different, class B network is a different, class C network is a different. How we are defining this, like to avoid the communication, how we are trying to defining them with the help of subnet mask. So default subnet mask will have. How we'll get the default subnet mask? So class A subnet mask 255.0.0.0. How we'll get this 255.0.0? So simple guys. Remember this definition. Subnet mask. All the host bits it will become 0. All network bits it will become 1s. Guys, if we having all ones value 8 ones means 255. 8 ones means 255. Okay. All network bits it will becomes 1. All host bits it will become 0. How many network bits, how many host bits will have into class A? Yes guys. How many network bits will have in class A? How many network bits will have in class A? 1 network bit. How many host bits will have in class A? 3 host bits. 1 network bits and 3 host bits. So what I said now, how we'll get the subnet mask? All the network bits will become 1 and all the host bits it will become 0. That is called default subnet mask. That is a default subnet mask. So for example, class A will have 1 network and 3 hosts. So all network bits it will become 1s. All host bits it will become 0. So 8 ones, 8 zeros, 8 zeros and 8 zeros. 8 ones value 255. So blindly you can write. So 8 ones value is 255. 0 always 0 only. 255.0.0.0. I hope you got it guys. How we'll get the subnet mask for class A? Default subnet mask. Now class B, default subnet mask. So 2 networks and 2 hosts. So 1, 1, 0, 0. So one value 255. 255.0.0. Class C, 3 networks and 1 host. So 1, 1, 1, 3 ones and 1 0. So 255.255.255.0. I hope you got it. There's a default subnet mask. If you are assigning the any IP address from the class A or class B and class C, definitely we should provide the subnet mask. Without subnet mask, you are unable to assign the IP address. Got it, guys? So what is a subnet mask? What is subnetting? We are dividing the one network into the multiple networks using this subnet mask. So this is one network and this is another network and this is another network. We are trying to avoiding the communication using this subnet mask. This is all default subnet mask for class A, this is a default subnet mask for class B, and this is a default subnet mask for class C. So I hope you're clear. How we'll get the default subnet masks? Yes, no? Yes, guys. Okay, so coming to IP addresses, we'll have two types of IP address. One is public, another one is private. So class A 10.0.0.02, 10.255.255.255. Class B 172.16.0.02, 172.31.255.255. Class C 192.168.0.02, 192.168.255.255. This is all private range. Apart from this range, everything is public. So private for internal purpose, public for internet purpose. Intranet and internet. This range, it is for intranet purpose. Class A. So most of the people, why we are using 10.0.0.0? Because of this reason. Because while you are trying to deploy your internal network, at the time you are going to use this range. Okay. So 10.0.0.02, 10.255.255.255. So class B 127.172.16.0.02, 172.31.255.255. Class C 192.168.0.02, 192.168.255.255. I'm coming, Akhil. We need to discuss about subnetting. So at the time I will tell you, don't bother about this slash notation, these all. Definitely I'm going to teach you. I'm coming step by step. First of all, you need to understand what is IPv4. So what type of like we will have, so how many classes we'll have, how they got divided into the multiple classes. These all stuff we should discuss. Then we will go for subnetting. Okay. So now, so let's see here. Class A, how many networks will have and how many hosts will have. So we need to find out. So as a system administrator, for example, if you got one project, so you need to deploy one network into one organization. How you are going to deploy? So which is a preferable class to deploy the network? We should know this all stuff. How many IP addresses will have into each class? How many networks we can able to deploy with the help of each class? So we should know this all stuff. Then only we can able to deploy the proper network. Got it, guys? So we should know how many networks and how many hosts we can able to connect into the each network, into the each class. How we'll get in a sense with the help of this formula. See here, how to get the networks and hosts in each class. For example, class A. Class A. How many network bits will have, guys, in class A? How many network outlets will have? 1. So 1 octet means how many bits? 1 octet means how many bits? 8 bits. N is equal to 8. That's it, no? N is equal to 8. So 8 bits will have. How many host bits will have here in class A? 3 host bits will have. So that means 3 host octets will have. Each octet having how many bits? 8. 8 3s are 24. Host 24 bits will have. So priority bit of the class A 0. Clear? 0 is a priority bit of the class A. Can we say 1 bit? 0 is a 1 bit. Yes, it's a 1 bit. Okay. So we need these values to substitute into the formula. So now, how many networks will have into the class A? How many networks we can able to deploy with the help of class A? We need to know. So networks 2 to the power of n minus p. So 2 to the power of n minus p is a formula. This minus 2, it's only for class A, not for class B and not for class C. So why this minus 2? I'm coming now. Okay. So 2 to the power of n minus p. So 2 to the power of 8 minus p. That means 8 minus 1. How much? 2 to the power of 8 minus 1. That's it now guys. 8 minus 1. So n value is 8. So priority bit is 1. So 8 minus 1. How much? 7. So what is this minus 2? Guys, class A range 0 to 127. Yes. Class A range is a 0 to 127. Yes. So 0.0.0, it's an unknown host. We are not going to assign this unknown host for hosts in our network. For example, I deploy one network. I'm not going to assign this IP address 0.0.0.0. And 127.0.0.0 also I'm not going to assign. 127.0.0.0 is a loopback IP address. It's a loopback network. Okay. So this IP also I'm not going to assign permissions. It's reserved for loopback. So what is the use of this loopback IP address? So this is a loopback range, guys. 127.0.0.0, it's a loopback network. 127.0.0.1 is a loopback IP address. So what is the use of this loopback IP address? Something like Khayatabazi, I think they asked one person, what is the use of 127.0.0.0? Why we are not assigning this 127.0.0 to the missions? So it's reserved for loopback. So what is the use of loopback in a sense? To check the outgoing traffic. To check the outgoing traffic. So whether your NIC card it's working properly or not, how we are going to get a result with the help of this loopback IP address. So we need to execute this command ping 127.0.0.1. If you're getting the reply from this IP address, that means your NIC card it's working properly. If it is not getting the reply, if you're getting the request timeout like this errors, that means there is a problem with your NIC card. I hope you're clear now. Yes, especially, so who asked the question before? So about 127.0.0. Especially for them. I hope you're clear. What is the use of 127.0.0 platform? So 0.0.0 and 127.0.0, you're not going to use for missions. So this is unknown host and it's a loopback IP address. Because of that reason, I'm doing minus 2 here. I hope you're clear. So 2 to the power of 8 minus 1 minus 2. 2 to the power of 7 minus 2 is equal to 128 minus 2. Total 126 networks we can able to deploy with the help of class A. I hope you're clear, guys. With the help of class A, we can deploy 126 networks. In each network, how many hosts we can able to connect? See. So we need to calculate the hosts also. So 2 to the power of h minus 2. 2 to the power of h minus 2 is a formula for host. This minus 2 for network ID and broadcast ID. So what is the network ID and what is the broadcast ID? So let's see here. This is class C network 10.0.0.0. Okay, it's a class C network. How many combinations we'll have into this 10.0.0.0 network in a sense? 255 combinations we'll have. Simple. Remember, all the host bits, if it is become 0, that is network ID. All the host bits, if it is become 1s, that is broadcast ID. Okay. To identify the network, we are going to use the network ID. To broadcasting, we are going to use this broadcast ID. So yesterday already we discussed what is a broadcasting. One to many including source. How the broadcasting it will happen in the sense with the help of this broadcast ID. So 10.255.255.255 is a broadcast ID. All the host bits, if it is become 0, that is network ID. All the host bits, if it is become ones, the ones value is 255. So that is broadcast ID. So in between what we'll have from 1 to 255, this is a valid IP address. Only valid IP addresses we are going to assign permissions on network ID and broadcast ID. Because of that reason, here we are doing -2. Got it, guys? This -2, one for network ID, one for broadcast ID. So in between what we'll have is all the valid IP addresses. This all valid IP addresses we are going to assign permissions in a network. We are not going to assign network ID, we are not going to assign broadcast ID. Clear, guys? I hope you're clear. This -2. So 2 to the power of 24. H value is a 24 -2. So 2 to the power of 24 -2. How much? These many hosts we can able to connect into the each network. These many hosts we can able to connect into the each network. Got it, guys? So 126 into this value. These many networks, like 126 networks we can able to deploy with the help of class A, and then each network you can connect these many hosts. I hope you're clear, guys. How many networks and how many hosts we can able to connect into the each network, host by network. Clear? Yes, no? So like the same way you can do for class B. So same formula. So how many network bits we'll have in class B? How many networks? 2 networks octets. So that means 16. 8 plus 8. 16. How many hosts? 2 hosts. 16. So priority bits 2, 1, 0, 2. Then you can substitute. Here we doesn't require -2, guys. Because we doesn't have the 0 and 127. So now the class bit will start from 128. So because of that reason, it doesn't require -2 here. So 2 to the power of 16 -2, 2 to the power of 14. And these many networks we can able to connect into the, these many networks we can able to deploy with the help of class B. You can connect these many hosts into the each network. So 2 to the power of 16 -2. So 2 to the power of 16 -2. So these many hosts you can connect into the each network. Clear? Which is a preferable network, guys? Class A or class B or class C? Preferable network. So which class we are going to prefer to deploy the network? Class C. Class C will have the more networks. Class C will have more networks. So generally, no one they are going to connect more than 100 machines into the one network. If you're connecting 200, 300 machines into the network, what will happen? Since broadcast will happen. If it is having the more broadcasting, so the data conversation will going to down. Like sometimes the network also will going to down. Because of that reason, people are going to use class C maximum. If you're having the huge network, you can go for class B. And then if you're having, for example, you need to connect 200 machines into the network, in one network, go for class C. You need to connect 500 machines. So more than 400 machines, more than 200 machines you need to connect into each network, go for class B. Because we'll have the 2 host bits. Each host combination 0 to 255, 0 to 255. That means more than 500 IP addresses we can able to connect with the help of class C. Class B. Class A, you need to connect into the each network more than 500, then you can go for class A. So no one are going to use class A and class B internally. In the internal network maximum, we are going to use class C. So I hope you're clear. Guys, I hope you're clear. Do you have any doubts, any questions? So if you want, you can take a snap. Yes, no? Yes, guys. Can you hear me? अरे बोलो ना यार, मेरे को समझ में नहीं आ रहा, आप लोगों को समझ में आ रहा है नहीं आ रहा है? If you are simply sitting, how I can able to understand like whether you are getting or not? So please concentrate. It's a very important session. So who's doing AWS and DevOps for them? While you are trying to creating the VPC, we need to create subnet. Yes. How you are going to define the subnets without IP addresses? Yes, it's true, now, guys. How you are going to like create the subnet without IP address? Okay. So I hope you're clear. So if you want, you can take a snap. Then on Monday, we'll have the one more concept related to IP address, that is called subnetting. How we need to make the one network into the multiple network. It's very important concept. Subnetting. We'll have two types of subnets. One is FLSM, VLSM. So pixel length subnet mask and variable length subnet mask. So we'll discuss on Monday, okay? So if you require, please take a snap. Yes, guys. I hope you got it. Okay, guys. See you on Monday. So we'll discuss about subnetting. So some people are asking about slash notation. So we are going to cover slash notation. So while I'm trying to teaching the subnetting at the time, okay? Okay, see you on Monday. Bye. Take care. Happy weekend.